I don't know what else this is designed to do but to feed...
No, he's not talking about himself, you smart Alex.
I don't know what else this is designed to do but to feed hatred. And I mean, you can tell from my voice, I really want to be wrong.
Well, I've got some good news and I've got some bad news, James O'Brien. The bad news is that while you think you look like, you know, a tousled, windswept and interesting older man, the reality is to the rest of us, you look like a bedraggled, fat alley cat. You know, that kind of gets really aggressive when aggressively territorial over the leftovers the restaurant throw out into the alley every night. You get all aggressive and catty, but, you know, we all know that if shit went down, a medium-sized gull could really peck you to death and then have its way with your remains. So that's the bad news. The good news is you are wrong.
You can tell from my voice, I really want to be wrong. Why is the Labour government determined to publish far more information about the nationalities of criminals than ever before?
Oh no, James, are they publishing more data than ever about the nationality of criminals? That's just terrible. I guess you're referring to this table, which I understand. I understand why you fear it. It's full of facts, and you hate facts. Facts are your kryptonite, aren't they, James?
And you can come at this from whatever angle you want.
Well, there are a lot of angles to choose from when you're so obtuse, James. But let me guess what angle you would like us to come at this problem from.
Immigrants commit a minority of the crimes in this country. They don't. What do you mean per capita? That's fascism.
You can, and I honestly don't think you will, because I can't see that you could. Explain to me why this isn't as unpleasant as it appears.
Oh, well, I'll give it a go, James. What a spaz. Imagine being such a jellyfish that you're scared of the government publishing crime statistics on the government website. That is something that you feel is really actually unpleasant. I can't even begin to understand it, actually. Oh, pull the other one. Let's get into the video.
Who's Daniel Boland? Oh, Daniel Boland, this is a heavy hitter. Do you guys know who this is?
And what are we supposed to do with the information? So if we discover that Poles commit more crimes than, I don't know, Spaniards, are we supposed to treat Poles and Spaniards differently?
Poles and Spaniards. Poles and Spaniards. Poland and Spain, two of the most crime-free, peaceful nations on earth. I can't even believe I live on the same planet as these fuckers. Well, I guess when you live in the butts in Brentford, like James O'Brien here, all these Albanians and Afghanis and Somalis are the least of your worries. Your problem is all these Spaniards getting too rowdy after a couple of glasses of Rioja in the local tapas bar.
What am I supposed to do with this information? It's not ethnicity, it's nationality.
Okay, James. I mean, really? You want us to break it down by race? Would you know what to do with the information? How about I fetch my craniometer?
So, I mean, are they going to publish the fact that the massive majority of crimes committed in this country are committed by non-foreigners?
It is so exhausting having to speak to people who pretend not to understand data when it just doesn't align with what they already think. Per capita. Per capita.
Just in terms of simple statistics, that's not an opinion, it's counting. Are we going to start having conversations about the white middle class and the white working class and their peculiar proclivity for certain kinds of crimes?
Proclivity for certain crimes amongst the white middle class in the UK? What, building an orangery on the side of the house without the correct permits? Distilling gin in the basement? Apple scrumping? What kind of perverted proclivities do you have? Because I really don't know what he's on about.
I'm simultaneously chilled to the core by it, but also convinced that I must be missing something.
Oh, you're missing plenty, James. Chilled to the core. Who says that? I was chilled to the core. Chilled to the core by some numbers on a screen. Oh, okay.
Politicians return to Parliament today after the Easter recess. The announcement is expected to be made today. The question I want you to answer is this. Why are they doing it?
Transparency. Freedom of information, you know, the kind of stuff that people like you were banging on about 20 years ago. Here's a crazy idea that I've had. Perhaps they could use these stats, the government, to form and then justify their immigration policy. Haha, as if they have an immigration policy. But, you know, in a crazy hypothetical, that's what this could be used for.
Why do you think they are doing it? Okay? Because for the life of me, I cannot see what the benefit will be. To discover that Albanians, Romanians and Poles, as is already widely accepted, are going to be among the worst offenders.
There he goes, bashing the Polacks again. I don't know what his problem is, this James O'Brien. I think maybe he really doesn't understand per capita. There are around 25,000 Moldovans and around 70,000 Albanians officially in the UK. They are massively overrepresented in crime and arrest statistics. There are close to 1 million Polish nationals in the UK. According to official estimates. And as you can see in my lovely table that I've got for you here, there are no Poles there in the arrest stats. They're not amongst the nationalities that are, highest up in rates of arrest. Leave the Poles alone, okay, James?
Among the worst offenders in this country helps us do what? Isabel and a couple of you are being very glass half full on this one and suggesting that it will actually show what a small percentage of crime is committed by immigrants. But
that's the caliber of person who watches James O'Brien. They're writing in the comments there, well, actually, this is good. This is a good thing. We can see that the majority of crime isn't being committed by them. They're still counting. To them per capita, as it isn't tangible. They can't see it. It's not real. It's some kind of mythical beast that the right invented because they're crazy. They've probably seen a TED talk with Richard Dawkins or something talking about Bertrand Russell's Celestial Teapot and the Flying Spaghetti Monster. And they think per capita is something like that. You know, like God.
Well, yes, that's also true. But it doesn't explain why you need the league table. They could just tell us repeatedly about the proportion or the percentage of crime that is committed by British citizens and set it up against the percentage of crime that is committed by non-British citizens.
I'm about to have a panic attack. Is this what he wants? Does he want to rile up the gammon? Because this gammon is all fighty now, you know? It's ridiculous.
You bring poverty into the equation, and it's likely that there's going to be a higher incidence of crime among the poorest parts of the population.
Yes, I think we all understand that poverty is a factor in committing crime. I don't understand. I'm pretty sure there are loads of studies and stats everywhere about the prevalence of crime in deprived areas versus affluent areas, and nobody's got a problem with that. I mean, we all understand that. Right? That there's more there's more violent crime in poor areas than rich areas. Why are numbers scaring you, James? I don't understand. We need all these stats. I've collected them all, okay? So that when I leave the house every day, I can make solid risk analysis of people based on all of their immutable characteristics. I'm kidding, of course. I live in northern Spain. There are no immutable characteristics here. Anyway, let's get a few more hot takes from James O'Brien, shall we?
The fact that 50 men engaged in something that is so completely depraved, so completely... again, yesterday we were divided, weren't we, between shock and not shock. Women less likely to be shocked by this story than men, because as some men apparently still struggle to understand the quotidian experience of women is fear.
No, James. The only thing I struggled to understand there was
Quotidian experience.
you pseudo-intellectual spacker. But anyway, for once we're on the same page, James. I understand that in the UK, in big cities in the UK, women live in fear. Yes, it is
Their quotidian experience.
right? That they can't be on their own at night, and in fact, they'll often get blamed if they are caught roaming around at night and something happens to them. Yeah, it's not like that where I live. Women are roaming like cattle, but I can't think why. So I guess we're on the same page for once. Hopefully, you don't fuck it up.
Yeah, the daily experience of women is risk assessment. And men did struggle to understand that, possibly until the Me Too movement. And some men, we discover on days like today, some men still struggle to understand it now and probably never will. But that is why it's a conversation about all women and all men, not because all men would do this, but because in the arena of the unknowable, all men could.
Well, James, I've got to say, very well said. Let me just get this straight, right? It's very reasonable for women to fear men, right? Because men could do something to them, right? They feel vulnerable a lot of the time. They probably having to, as you said, assess the risk whenever they leave the house. What time of day is it? Where am I going? Will I find myself alone with a man? That's absolutely all very reasonable stuff, James.
Would you feel uncomfortable getting changed in the room next to me?
If it was curtains,
Yeah.
which, let's face it, they never draw properly.
Well, you
they
would,
never
I think.
close properly.
You would if you felt like you do. So why would you feel uncomfortable getting changed in the room next to me? Or on the other side of a curtain from me?
Well, because you're a man.
But what do you think I'm going to do?
We have separate changing rooms.
But why would you
Because
feel
women-
uncomfortable
well,
getting
okay,
changed on
let's
a...
take it back to-
No, let's
let's
just
say I'm
talk
a
about this. This
teenager.
is helpful. You're on the other side of the curtain from me. What are you worried I might do?
Well, you're a man. So
Well-
the same as the risk factor is the same for any men. Plus, I respect my own privacy.
Well, I'm respecting
So I
your
don't
privacy.
wanna
That's why the
change with
curtains are
men.
drawn. So what are you worried about?
The curtains never close completely, James.
Oh, for Christ. With respect,
why I
Kelly,
have
if I
to
was as
hold it
paranoid
for my
about this as
daughter.
you are, I'd probably hold it shut while
It's
trying to
not
undress with one
it's
hand.
not
So what are you...
paranoia,
What are
it's
you...
by
Okay, well then
comfort.
explain to me the rational fear you have of what I might do if I was changing my jeans on the other side of a door or a curtain from you.
James, the very least of their fears would be extreme embarrassment and humiliation at being watched by a man while they got undressed. The worst case scenario, well, it begins with R and ends in ape. That's what every woman on Earth, every sane woman on Earth, would be worried about if they were undressing in a changing room, and no matter how many curtains you were nervously fondling as you stumbled clumsily to pull your trousers over your fat arse, every woman on Earth would be thinking that, okay, if they saw you in their changing room. You don't understand that. I thought their quotidian experience was fear and risk assessment. You dick.
Well, specifically you, I probably wouldn't think you would do anything.
Subtly insulting his manhood there. I bet there was a bit of James there, wasn't there? Like, I could do it to you. I could really, you know. That's what I think's happening in his head.
But are all other men then, or just most, or how would you know
No,
that
not all
wants
other
to
men.
be...
Let's not frame this as some sort of raging rampant.
You did a minute ago say, but you're... I think your exact words were, you're a man, and that was the reason why you wouldn't want to do it. So you've already done that, but you can retract that. Now talk me through how you'd tell the ones who are dodgy.
Well, I could go on. I've got many James O'Brien clips, but I think that's enough for you. You're getting greedy. Yeah, if you've enjoyed the video at any point today, give the video a like, okay, to help the universe, the algorithm, know what a lovely time you've had. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and check out my social media links, X, Instagram, all of those places to know when I bring out a new video. And if you want to help out with the channel even further and get some access to some exclusive videos, then you can join my Patreon. All those links are down underneath this video. I'll see you in the next one.
You feel comfortable with me using, female toilets?
Oh my God! Oh, of course,
But
I would.
Does that depend on me having had surgery?
No.
What would you say? I don't want to dwell on this for too long, but what would you say to those people who would have an issue sharing a public bathroom with me?
Oh my goodness. I would say that's another human being. How can you I understand fearing what you don't know.
Mm.
I understand kind of being like, oh, I don't really understand about this, and I've never met someone, but go and speak. Go learn, go speak, go go look into the whites of someone's eyes that's had this experience, and tell me after you've done that you do not see or feel their humanity or understand their story, or that like there's any part of you that feels that it's okay to make that person not feel included. It's making people feel not included, I think, it's just such a painful, awful thing to do.